Good morning, dear class 10 students. First of all, sorry for last week video which did not reach to you, though I had uploaded in YouTube, but I did not know why that video could not upload in YouTube, and that did not reach to you. So dear students, today I would be explaining the same topics which I had explained in the previous video that did not reach to you. So now let us start the topic. So 6.1, inhuman treatment of indigo cultivators. So this 6 point is the point of economic causes. So here let us see, indigo trade was highly profitable to British, but the conditions under which the peasants had to work were inhuman. So by selling indigo or ujala or neel, in Hindi indigo is called as neel or ujala, was very much profiting to British in European market. Why indigo was very much famous in European countries? Because it was helping the people to bring more shining in white cloth. And today also we apply this indigo in the form of ujala. So since people are very much fond of wearing white clothes in Europe, indigo was very much in demand. So here in India, peasants were forcefully told to cultivate this indigo instead of cultivating Indian crops. And in the working place also, they were not treated well. So the peasants were told to only cultivate indigo. So this is also the reason that why India became more poorer, because the peasants could not cultivate Indian crops, and due to the lack of Indian crops, people started dying. And not only that, the peasants lost the source of income or source of survival. So that's why people or the peasants reacted against the British system. Now let us go to 7 number, poverty and famine. So British economically exploited India very much. The industries which were established in India, Indian industries, had to pay high taxes to British, and also British took huge amount of wealth in the form of crops, paddies, minerals like iron ore, gold, diamond, coal. So they left nothing for the Indian to become economically strong or make wealth. Even the agriculture were exploited. The poor and peasants, they were extremely facing a lot of poverty life, living a poverty life. And in between we could see there are a lot of famines in our country where British saw no any attention. It did not give any support to the people who are dying due to famines. Neither British reached any medical facilities, nor the people were given any type of supports in this critical situations. So people, how long they could bear the British and their wrong policies. So this is the another point which made people strong and united them to oppose the British policy. Now let us go to 8 number, decline of landed aristocracy. That landed aristocracy, which included the taludars and hereditary landlords, were deprived of their states. That means the land owners or the zamindars who are the owner of their own huge number of lands were now removed from the ownership from their own lands. The lands were looted wrongly, and now they had no any rights, no power to become the owner of their own land. So now British officers are appointed and the people are appointed to own the profit and benefit from these all lands. According to provision of Indian Commission, 20,000 states were confiscated when the landlords failed to produce evidence like the title deeds by which they held the land. So even according to the law Inam Commission 1852, almost 20,000 farmers, the landlords, they were removed from the ownership of lands because they could not prove or show the what is called the documents, land documents, which could prove that that land belongs to them. So in Hindi we could call khatiyans. They could not show khatiyans. So in that way, whichever landlord could not show the land evidence or khatiyans or titles, the lands were snatched away and the landlords became jobless, helpless. So this way there is a lot of grudge and revenge among the landlords against the British. So this way we could see that economically how the Indian people either they were business class, zamindars, peasants, every section of people in India were affected by the British wrong system. Now let us go a little bit about the military causes. Let us discuss about the military causes. So here this is the last point. Several factors contributed to the changes in the attitude of Indian soldiers towards the company. These included the followings. Now first, ill treatment of Indian soldiers. Cruel treatment of Indian soldiers. The East India Company established the British Empire in India with the help of Indian soldiers, and that is the fact that due to the support of Indian soldiers, the British could establish such a huge empire in India, and British made India as its own empire. But despite of this all support from the Indian side, from the Indian soldiers' side, the British could not show any sympathy or we call any gratitude. Instead of showing gratitude and to be thankful, the Indian soldiers were poorly paid ill-fed, that means they were not provided good food, and also they were told to live in a bad houses. Bad houses, to say that the houses which were not well constructed, no doors, no electricity, nothing, sorts of things were there. So in these houses, the Indian soldiers were told to live and then to spend their time in the evening, or they could use these all houses for their own rest purpose. British military authorities forbade this boy from wearing caste sectarian's marks, and also the Indian soldiers were told to not to practice the Indian traditions like wearing the turban, and also not to use tilak on the forehead. Like Brahmins mostly they use tilak on their forehead, that also was not allowed for the Indian soldiers. And also the beard and turbans Indian soldiers cannot keep. So this way it was a great disrespect for the Indian soldiers. This was a humiliating situation for the Indian soldiers. So these all things made Indian soldiers to take challenge against British, or to take weapons against British. Now let us go to the next point, that is General Service Enlistment Act. And according to this General Service Enlistment Act, the Indian soldiers can be sent to foreign countries for this military service of the Queen. Like it is talking about, this act was passed, General Service Enlistment Act was passed in 1856, and according to this act, Indian soldiers could be sent overseas on duty. The act did not take into account the sentiments of the Indian soldiers, and without asking or consulting the Indian soldiers, this law was passed in against of the Indian soldiers. And to going to foreign countries for giving army service or military service for Indian soldiers was a taboo, it was a sin for them. So they opposed to British for this act or for this law, because by going to foreign countries they will lose their own cultures, their own traditions, and ultimately they will be told to practice the culture of that foreign countries. So that's why this is another reason of opposing British system and opposing the British rule and regulations. So that's why the war of 1857 started due to this point also, this order also, this act also. Now we go to next point, that is third one, large proportions of Indians in the British Army. So another point gave boosted or supported Indian soldiers, that is the number of British troops in India were very less, whereas the Indian soldiers were much more bigger number. So here a mentality developed, a thinking developed, that the Indian soldiers can easily defeat the British soldiers. So here Dalhousie also passed a law for the British for recruiting many soldiers, but that did not happen. So that's why the thinking of the Indian soldiers, that they could now easily control the British and they can easily defeat British. So that's why they challenge the British due to the numerical strength of Indian Army. Now number 4, we have the here bleak prospects of promotion. Bleak prospects means the hopeless promotions in the army. So when we talk about the promotion for the Indian soldiers in the army was hopeless. All higher positions in employment were reserved for the British. In respect of their promotions, even the Indian soldiers formerly occupying high positions in the armies of a native prince could not rise above the rank of Subedar. So the Indian soldiers were given the promotion up to Subedar, whereas the British soldiers were given the higher posts in army like captain, major, army of officers like that. But Indian soldiers were not taken into considerations for these all high posts. So it was a great insult for the Indian soldiers for not having or not getting the promotion in army. Now number 5, we have here 5 deprivation of allowances. So the Indian soldiers are not given proper allowances, facilities, salaries. The extension of British dominion in India adversely affected the service conditions of the sepoy or the army. They are required to serve in areas away from their homes without extra payment and additional barter. So this was the order passed in against of the British soldiers, that the British soldiers can be sent any part of the world or any part of the Indian territory for the army service. So now the Indian army cannot give service from their home. They cannot live in the home and then can go for the army service. And for extra service, they even were not paid any extra amount. So this way, they lost all the enjoyment. They were away from their own family members. They even did not know that whether they will come alive or not from those unknown areas where they were posted. And whereas the British soldiers were given the chances to live with their own families and they can visit their own families, and from their families only they can go for their army service. So next one, faulty distribution of troops. So the places of strategic importance like Delhi and Allahabad had no British armies and were wholly held by the Indian soldiers. In some places in India, only the Indian armies were giving the service, or there were no any British service in the groups, because these places were the critical places, riot places, dangerous places. Anytime the riot can start, and to control these riots only the Indian army were given the posting and they were recruited there, whereas the British soldiers were removed from those places and they were given posting to the peaceful states or territories. So this also helped and united Indian soldiers to go against the British. England was engaged in several wars outside like Persian War, Crimean War and the Chinese War. So these are the certain reasons why Indian soldiers jumped into the battle in 1857. So dear students, for today only this much. I will continue the points in the next video class. Thank you.